Dante Moore is not your average freshman quarterback. The former 5-star recruit shocked the college football world when he flipped his commitment from Oregon to UCLA late in the recruiting process, making him the highest rated quarterback to ever enroll at UCLA. Everybody wanted Moore, and at 17 years old, he'll be one of the youngest quarterbacks to start a college football game if he wins the starting job, like he's expected to. What makes Dante Moore so special? In this video, I will go over his backstory, and we'll go over why he may take over the college football world this season. You won't want to miss this. Dante Moore is from Detroit, Michigan, and attended Martin Luther King High School, where he became one of the top quarterbacks in the nation. Moore's father coached his older brother's youth football team when they lived in Lorain, Ohio. At the time, Dante was a 4-year-old and served as the ball boy, always trying to sneak into the game. His family would move to Michigan a few years later, where he became a star in youth football. He was making a name for himself before he even got to high school. During the summer of 2018, before his 8th grade year, Moore attended a camp at the University of Michigan. Head coach Jim Harbaugh asked if Moore was coming to watch the camp with his dad, with Moore telling the Michigan coach that he was there to compete. For him, it was just another camp where he did a bunch of different workouts like other camps in the past. Yet this camp would be a little different. Not only did he earn the award for the best underclassman at the event as a middle schooler, he also left with his first Division I offer. Harbaugh worried about offering someone like him at such a young age because he thought that it would put a lot of pressure on Dante. Along with that, he had never offered a 7th grader before, but knew Dante was going to be a special player, and he needed to offer him. Moore told the Detroit Free Press, "After the coach Jim Harbaugh said they were going to offer me, I was so young I was like, okay, thank you coach, but I didn't know what that was. I thought it was like saying good job." He was so young at the time he did not realize what the magnitude of a Division I offer was. Moore went on to say, "When I told my dad, he broke everything down for me. When he told me everything, like how it pays for scholarships and pays for college, our family's always had tough times. And then I was thinking he would make my dad's job easier, not paying for college and stuff. It just made me cry when I was tweeting it out on Twitter. When I posted it, it just blew up. Ever since then, I've been working on my game, trying to get better." Moore has impressed throughout his high school career. As a freshman, he took over the starting quarterback job. His high school coach, Tyron Spencer, saw Moore play in the Detroit PAL game held at King before he ever stepped foot in high school. Spencer told the Detroit Free Press, "I was impressed with his arm talent at the time, but I didn't think we were going to get him at King. His brother had gone to Cass, so I didn't think there was any way that he was going to come to King. He chose to attend King, but was not expected to start because they had a returning senior quarterback." Spencer spoke on the quarterback battle saying, "The quarterback challenge was going back and forth, and the other guy quit and transferred. I thought he would at least know this was a freshman. Like, you've played varsity before and go for it." During 7v7s that summer, Moore impressed throughout, showing he was not your typical freshman quarterback. Dante didn't think he would play his freshman year when he entered high school because of how talented the older quarterback was. He figured he would spend his freshman year sitting and watching, especially when the Crusaders opened up their season against powerhouse Navi Detroit Catholic Central. Moore explained, "I wasn't coming in thinking I was going to start. I knew I was going to try to find a way for me to start, but if the senior was here and we played CC, I was pretty sure he was going to get the start. We would have gotten a lot of reps together, but I believe he would have started." Going to the game, he was extremely nervous with the packed stadium, but once he started playing, the nerves just disappeared. Dante led King to an 11-3 record and to the Michigan Division II state championship, where they finished as the runner-ups. Moore threw for 2,731 yards and 33 touchdowns and impressed opposing coaches like Matt Kozak, the head coach at Mona Shores, who told the Detroit Free Press, I can't believe this kid is only a freshman. Obviously, he was a thinner kid, but the way the ball came out of his hand was so impressive. And the throws that coaches asked him to make, these crossing routes, I was really impressed with him. And to be a freshman and so much is on your shoulders as a quarterback, I was impressed with how poised he was. Even now, he doesn't show a ton of emotion, even when he makes a big play. He's kind of dialed in and focused. Moore continued to impress as a sophomore, leading King to a 6-4 record into the 4th round of the playoffs, throwing for 1,710 yards, 30 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. Going to his junior year, he added a ton of mass and looked like a completely different player according to opposing coaches. He came out with a vengeance through his first 4 games of the season, throwing for 12,280 yards and 17 touchdowns, with no interceptions against tough competition. Detroit King played Carmel, the number 2 team in Indiana at the time, 2-time defending champs Mona Shores, Cass Tech, which was ranked number 1 entering the game, and Detroit Mumford. Against amazing talent, Moore completed 74.4% of his passes during that time span and led Detroit King to the #1 ranking in Division III. Moore led King to a 13-1 record and to the Michigan Division III state championship. He finished the season throwing for 3,047 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Dante Moore had an impressive senior year at Detroit King High School. He led his team to their second consecutive Division III state championship, beating Muskegon 42-7 in the final game. He completed 21 of his 26 passes for 275 yards and 4 touchdowns without an interception in that game. He was named the Associate Press Player of the Year for Division III and IV by a panel of sports writers from across the state of Michigan. He finished his senior year completing 68% of his passes for 2,392 yards and 32 touchdowns with just 3 interceptions. He also broke the state record for career touchdowns with 135. He finished his high school career with a 40-11 record as a starter, leading his team to 3 state championship games and winning 2 of them. Coming out of high school according to 24/7 Sports Composite, Dante Moore was a 5-star recruit who was the best player in Michigan, 3rd best quarterback in the class, and 5th best player in the 2023 recruiting cycle. He earned over 40 different Division I offers from the likes of LSU, Oregon, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Texas A&M. Throughout his recruitment, he kept how he felt close to his chest. Going to the Elite 11 finals, he had no top school lists and no announcement day planned. Many in the college football world believed he was going to commit to Oregon after a visit to Eugene at the time. Ari Wasserman from The Athletic wrote, "He's wise. It's like he's a seasoned veteran when he talks to the media. Another lesson he learned from a friend." Moore watched 4-star quarterback Jaden Rashada of Pittsburgh, California, commit to Miami over the weekend, and he closely monitored the reaction. Moore told Wasserman, "With Rashada, people were saying this NIL deal isn't right, and this deal wasn't right, and I just don't want my name going from this info to that type of info." Even though Rashada didn't even say anything at all. People want to jump to conclusions and start saying things about you. If you don't say anything at all, they have less to say. I always talk to the people I need to talk to. I don't do interviews over the phone. I want to do everything in person. I don't want any mix-ups. He originally committed to Oregon over the summer. Off the field, Moore helped with his father's lawn care business, with his favorite part being cutting the grass. While people will talk about how much Moore's NIL deals will be worth and why he committed to a certain school, Moore does not really care about the money. He believes the work he does for his father is his responsibility. His father told the Detroit Free Press, "I try to give him money and he says no. Sometimes I put it on his desk and the money just sits there. Honestly, he has a $100 bill on his desk that I put there 3 weeks ago that he hasn't touched." Many kids had to mature fast. Being a single father, they knew they'd have to grow up fast. It's something I learned from my mother. Since 3rd grade, he's been ironing and doing his own laundry. That was my joke with him. I told them I was preparing them for college. Dante explained, "I'm not really much of a money guy. I live here. I'm doing it to help my dad out and expand the business just because I love him, for real." I think Wasserman sums up Dante Moore very well in his article from the Elite 11, writing, "He didn't tip his hand. He didn't say much. But if you can learn one thing about Moore, it's this. Don't assume anything." That's the last thing he wants you to do. After offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham took the head coaching job at Arizona State, Moore decided to flip from the Ducks to UCLA. He had a close relationship with Dillingham, so it was tough to watch him go. He also liked the idea of playing quarterback for Chip Kelly, who he grew up watching at Oregon and admiring his offenses, and this provided the opportunity for him to compete for the starting job as a true freshman. Something that was not going to be possible at Oregon, with Bo Nix deciding to return for another season. He also said he liked the challenge of playing in the Big Ten, which UCLA will join as part of the major conference realignment. According to Moore, NIL had nothing to do with the decision to flip to UCLA, which goes with what I've said throughout the video. He just doesn't really care for it. He flipped to UCLA because he felt that that was the right decision for him. Going into the 2023 season, there are high expectations for Moore, as he is the highest rated quarterback recruit to ever commit to UCLA. Since arriving on campus, he has tried to learn from Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who is currently preparing for the 2023 NFL Draft. Moore told the LA Times, "I've always watched him being a great player for UCLA and a great playmaker for the team. I knew he'd be a great person to talk to and pick his brain, him being another young black quarterback, especially for someone in my shoes going to the college level. He is competing for the starting job with former Washington transfer Ethan Garbers and local 4-star recruit Justin Martin. There's also Kent State transfer quarterback Colin Schlee and Chase Griffin, who has crushed it in the NIL space." Steve Henson from the LA Times writes, "Moore feels like he has 4 new older brothers. What could be an awkward situation, him being the young pup expected to become the alpha dog in time for the Bruins season opener September 2nd against Coastal Carolina has so far been pleasant. If Moore does win the starting quarterback job, with how talented he is, don't be surprised if he starts lighting up Pac-12 defenses and is a conversation for national awards by the end of the season. I think Moore has all the tools to be a special player at the next level and can take over college football. What do you think? Which freshman are you most excited to watch during the 2023 season? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos right here. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe for more college football content. Thank you so much for watching. I could not be more thankful for y'all. You guys make this all possible for me, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.